Some of the national parties are Bharatiya Janata Party, Communist Party of India, Indian National Congress, Janata Party, Lok Dal. Okay. Now, to select the national government, the parliament in India consists of the president, the Rajya Sabha, and the Lok Sabha. After the Lok Sabha elections, a list is prepared showing how many MPs belong to each political party. Now, for a political party to form the government, they must have a majority of elected MPs. MPs meaning member of parliaments. Just now I have explained about that. Now, since there are 543 elected and plus 2 nominated members in the Lok Sabha, to have a majority, a party should have at least half the number, that is 272 members or more. But at least the number, that is 272, is must. Now there is a ruling party and there is an opposition party. The opposition in parliament is formed by all the political parties that oppose the majority party. The largest amongst this party is called the opposition party. Now, one of the most important functions of the Lok Sabha is to select the executive. Executive is a group of persons who work together to implement the laws made by the parliament. This executive is often what we have in mind when we use the term government. The Prime Minister of India is the leader of the ruling party in the Lok Sabha. And from the MPs who belong to this party, the Prime Minister selects ministers to work with him or her to implement decisions. These ministers then take charge of different areas of government functioning like health, education, finance, etc. Then there is coalition government also. Now in this coalition government, oftentimes for a single party to get a majority that is required to form the government is difficult. Then what they do, then they join together with different political parties who are interested in similar concern to form, and that is known as coalition government. Now about the Rajya Sabha. Rajya Sabha functions primarily as the representative of the states of India in the parliament. Now the Rajya Sabha can also initiate legislation and a bill is required to pass through the Rajya Sabha in order to become a law. It therefore has an important role of reviving and altering the laws initiated by the Lok Sabha. The members of the Rajya Sabha are elected by the elected members of the legislative assemblies of various states. There are 233 elected members plus 12 members nominated by the president. They come from... Now these members are selected on the basis of their excellence in say literature, science, art. Okay. And who nominates them? The president, on the basis of their excellence in their particular field. So in Lok Sabha there are 543 members plus 2 nominated. In Rajya Sabha there are 233 elected members plus 12 nominated by the president. The role of citizens is crucial in helping Parliament frame different concerns that people might have into laws, from establishing the need for a new law to its being passed. At every stage, from start till end of the process, the voice of the citizens is very important. When a large number of people being to feel that a wrong law has been passed, then there is a pressure on the parliament to change this. The parliament has an important role in making laws. There are many ways through which this takes place, and it is often different groups in a society that raise the need for a particular law. If you think that the law is not fair, then you can approach the court to decide on the issue, and then the court has the power to modify or cancel laws if it finds that they don't adhere to the constitution. But once it is passed and accepted by everybody, then you have to abide by the law. In ancient time, there were innumerable and often overlapping local laws. Different communities enjoy different degrees of autonomy in administrating these laws. In addition to this, there are also steps that people can take if they feel that a particular law is not being followed. For example, if a person feels that they were not hired for a job because of their religion or caste, he or she may approach the court and claim that the particular law is not being followed. Then the court gives orders about what should be done. I hope now you all are very clear that why these laws are important, why they are there. When there are laws, then there is no inequality or injustice done to anyone. That's why these laws are there for us and for us to follow. In types of government, first I've explained about democracy, that is, in this form of government, it is the people who give the government the power. Then the another form of government is monarchy. The monarch, that is the king or queen, has the power to make decisions and run the government. The monarch have a very small group of people to discuss matters with, but the final decision making power remains with the monarch. Unlike in a democracy, kings and queens do not have to explain their actions or defend their decisions they take. They do not have to explain what they are doing, why they are doing, the consequences, why, reason, nothing of that sort. But it is totally different from democracy. I'll explain the differences between a democracy and a monarchy, okay? Now listen, democracy. In a democracy, it is the people who give the powers to the government. Democratic government. India is a democracy. Now this achievement is the result of a long and eventful struggle of the Indian people. There are other places also in the world where people have also struggled to have democracies. Now let us understand what is democracy. Now democracy is the idea of consent, that is the desire, approval and participation of people. It is the decision of people that creates a democratic government and decides about its functioning. Who decides? People, we citizens. So basic idea in this kind of democracy is that the individual or say citizens is the most important person, and in principle the government as well as other public institutions need to have the trust of these citizens. Now, how does the individual give approval to the government? Let us understand this. One way of doing so is through elections. People elect their representatives to the parliament. Then, one group from among these elected representatives forms the government. The parliament, which is made up of all representatives together, controls and guides the government. So, in this sense, people through chosen representatives form the government and also control it. In India before independence, only a small minority was allowed to vote, and they therefore came together to determine the fate of the majority. Can you believe that there was a time when governments did not allow women and the poor and to participate in elections? In their earliest form, governments allowed only men who owned property and the ones who were educated to vote. So this meant that women, the poor and the propertyless and the uneducated were not allowed to vote. Now, several people, including Gandhiji, were shocked at the unfairness of this practice and demanded that all adults have the right to vote. And this is known as universal adult franchise. Now we'll talk about the suffrage movement. The word suffrage means the right to vote. the women and the poor people in Europe and USA had to fight to get the right to vote. It was not an easy struggle. The demand for the right to vote got strengthened during the First World War. Nowhere in the world have governments willingly shared power. All over Europe and USA, women and the poor have had to fight for participation in government. Women's struggle to vote got strengthened. Now, this movement is called the women's suffrage movement. As the term suffrage usually means right to vote. Now, during the war, many men were away fighting, and because of this, women were called upon to do work that was earlier considered men's work. Many people began organizing and managing different kinds of work. When people saw this, they began to wonder why they had created so many unfair stereotypes about women and what they were capable of doing. So women began to be seen as being equally capable of making decisions. The suffragette demanded the right to vote for all women, and to get their demands heard, they chained themselves to railings in public places. Many suffragettes were imprisoned and went on hunger strikes, and they had to be fed by force. American women got the right to vote in 1920, while women in the UK got to vote on the same terms as men some years later in 1928.